Stop crying.
Stop with the tears.
Don't cry.
Pick yourself up.
Stop with the emotion.
Don't be a don't let nobody disrespect you.
Be cool and be kind of a...
Always keep your mouth
Nobody
shut.
likes a tattletale.
Bros come before hoes.
Don't let your woman run your life. Get laid. Do something.
Be a man.
Be a man.
What's up? It's your boy 32 man. Was free in the car, man. I'm doing my Uber thing, doing my Uber thing, man. So today I want to kind of jump into trauma. Trauma. And trauma in the sense of, I don't know, this one way or not. We're just gonna take it though. But trauma in the sense of childhood trauma that translates over into adult trauma. And really what inspired this one today is I've been talking about this specific topic for a while with my peers, family, and friends. I just never really dove into it full on as I am about to do now. So I'm going to specifically talk about male trauma. One, because I'm not a female, so it just makes, the assumption part, incorrect. So I'm not going to touch on females. I am going to have a guest up for that. So be looking out for that soon. But male trauma, I just kind of want to get into where it starts, and how it manifests itself, as we get older. So, most important thing is I want everybody to understand that males have a completely different chemical makeup and understanding of life that is a direct product of their upbringing. What do I mean by this? So let's just say, let's not just say, let's actually use truth and fact. So I remember probably was about 3, maybe 4, and we were living down in the city off of Lafayette, and my big cousin stayed upstairs. My older cousins, they stayed upstairs, and basically, I just remember one day I was crying, and I was at the front door, and I don't know what it was that I was crying about or what had transpired. All I remember is my dad telling me to stop all that crying, suck it up. Now, my dad wasn't a bad guy at all. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this happened in, if not all, male households, and 98% of them. There's some element of you have to be rough, rugged, and tough to survive as a man. And that is instilled in us from birth. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was 3, maybe 4. We're talking before I even got to high school. You know what I'm saying? Before I even got to elementary, before I seen what kindergarten was, I was subjugated to this thought process of you have to be strong, you have to be tough, you have to be rough and rugged. Now, if this is who I'm molded to be from the time I am able to walk, really, you know what I'm saying? I've seen it as early as 2. You know what I'm saying? Stop all that crying, your boy. Girl. You know what I'm saying? These are rhetoric. These are things that we tell our boys. These are things that we tell our young men, our young boys. And it's like, well, damn. As a young boy, as a young man, as a man, if I go 10 years hearing how men aren't supposed to be soft, how men aren't supposed to have feelings, how men are supposed to be this this macho, gung ho, bravado, confidence instilled type being. What do you expect my thought processes to be like? How do you expect me to react with women, with other males, with children, with my emotions? You know what I'm saying? All my life I've been told to shut up. All my life I've been told to suck it up, to deal with it, to not act like a little girl. So, as a direct consequence of being told not to act like a girl all the time, as a direct consequence of being told to suck it up all the time, guess what I do? When I have an emotional feeling, I suck it up. I suppress it. I don't deal with it. When I feel a urge, when I feel weakness coming over me, guess what I do? I suppress it. I shut it up. I keep it quiet. But this is what I've been told to do. This is what's been expected of me for so long. For all my life. It's not expected of me to voice my emotions. It's not expected of me to have a sensitive side. Nobody want that from me. You know what I'm saying? What they want is they want me to be macho. They want me to be tough. They want me to be rigid. They want me to be emotionalist. You know what I'm saying? They want me to be emotional. They want me to be a humanoid almost. The only feeling I'm supposed to feel is the feeling of anger, aggression. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I'm not supposed to feel pain. I'm not supposed to feel hurt. I'm not supposed to feel sad, regret. You know what I'm saying? These are things I'm not supposed to feel because, again, suck it up. Deal with it. You're not a female. Stop acting like a girl. Quit being soft. Well, guess what you got? You got a bunch of men out here who don't know how to be soft, who can't communicate effectively and properly the emotions that they undergo every day, who can't properly even comprehend what it is that they're going through because, again, nobody told them how to sift through those emotions. They've only told them how to shut them up. They've only told them how to keep them quiet. So I don't know how to sit down and say, oh, damn, I'm going through this and feeling this because of that, or because of this happened, or because I was, this, that, and the third. We can't even rationally sift through emotions because our instinct, our learned behavior, learned pattern and habit is let it be, let it go. So again, you got all these men walking around emotionless. You got all these men walking around, having pissing contests with each other because, again, it's who could not be the softest. You know what I'm saying? Who can be the toughest person? Who could be the hardest? Who could be the most inhumane male in the world? And we're literally competing for this. We're competing for those spots. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that it's right by any means. What I'm saying is that these are the truths. This is the truth. The truth is, men are hurting and dealing with hurts that they don't know how to deal with. They can't comprehend. They don't understand. They're not familiar. They haven't had enough practice. So it really bothers me. It really pains me. It really angers me to see, like some of the things that's said about men. You know what I'm saying? Some of the jabs and some of the slights and some of the shade and some of the turn down that gets tossed at men on our counterparts or from our counterparts. And no, I'm not saying any of this to be victim or to play victim or what I'm saying to even belittle the pain and hurt that we cause women as men. I'm not putting any of this on the backside. What I'm doing is I'm asking you all to, instead of doing what we've been doing, tearing each other down, saying men ain't this, men ain't that, women ain't this, women ain't that. I feel like we need to take the time to actually see what contributing factors play a role in here. Because women aren't wilding out just to be wilding out. Women ain't, you know what I'm saying? They didn't undergo hot girl summer just to undergo hot girl summer. I'm just being real. That was a direct consequence of being sick and tired of putting up with men shit. Now, why did they put up with men shit? I think this is the answer. For years, men grow up and we do not know how to express emotions. We know how to express sexual emotion. We know how to express lust. But we do not know how to express real emotion. So what does that do in our relationships? How does that, reveal itself in our relationships? How does that play out in our relationships? I'll tell you. So you have a guy. He's with a girl. Yeah, like I said, so you have a guy, he's with this girl. All his life, he's had inadequate training on love itself. How to show it, how to be it, how to receive it. He's had inadequate training on emotions, how to feel them, how to field them. So feel, F-E-E-L, and field, F-I-E-L-D. He doesn't even know how to separate his emotion from truth, reality, from outside motivating factors. Like, all he knows is he gets this feeling and he's either supposed to suck it up and deal with it, be tough and go on about his business, or be labeled soft and try the meticulous process of figuring shit out on his own. I'm just gonna be 100 and completely honest and say that the latter is completely fucking hard. It's completely fucking hard. Imagine being 3 years old and diving into something, or fuck it. Imagine being 20, 25, 40, 50, and never really having to have worked through real emotions. To never really had to have genuinely deal with the pain and hurt that you've been put through in life. Imagine that. You go your whole life, and the first time you're allowed to deal with your real emotions and learn about them is in a failing relationship with your significant other, who's pissed off at you, who's sick and tired of your shit, and who's on the verge of walking the fuck out. So now, not only are you forced to try and deal with some shit you ain't never had to deal with, but you got the compound effect of the hurt and pain that you are currently experiencing while trying to go through this. Again, I'm not saying this to bring about some excuse. I'm not saying this to bring about some pity party. I don't need pity. I don't ask for pity. Okay? I'm not asking. I'm asking for your understanding. I need you to try and understand that these are the real realities of a man. A man ain't never, ever. Like, the first time most men experience telling somebody how they truly feel is literally their girlfriend. Maybe their mom. Maybe. So as I continue to reiterate, like, if you literally have a man who's never had to actually embrace his emotion and deal with it, what can you expect from him in a relationship with a woman? What can you expect from him in a relationship with a child? What can you expect from him in a relationship with another man? And I don't mean homosexual relationship. I just mean like with his friends, with his dogs, with his boys. You know what I'm saying? With his coworkers, his colleagues. Like, how do you expect a man to be able to maneuver through something he never had to maneuver through? How do you expect him to be completely just okay and just knowledgeable on situations and topics that he never had to sit down and even casually think about? So let's take it further. So from birth, you know, it's suck it up, grow up, blah blah blah, be a man, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? You're not a girl. You know, all these sayings that we get. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, you know, all these things that we get exposed to. The different attitudes, the different ideologies of what a man should be, what a man should do, what a man should say, and how a man should act. And yeah, my dad was definitely one of those. There's a lot of women that play that same role in their children's lives, in their friends' children's lives, and their little cousins and their nephews and all that other stuff. Like, even today, like, grown women will tell men that they're acting like bitches, that they're too soft, that they act like females. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's just that continuation of my upbringing. So at 18, I'm trying to, you know, this is my first time trying to maneuver through it. I'm actually trying to work through some of my emotions and figure this shit out. And the first, or man, you acting like a bitch. You being soft. You acting like a female. Man up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa. This my whole childhood again. Let me revert back to what I know. Let me get back on that insensitive, inhumane creature that everybody so wants, but nobody really wants at the same time. And I definitely understand that, yes, there has to be a balance. You know what I'm saying? You have to know how to be emotional and, you know what I'm saying, direct and, you know, forceful at the same time and all of that stuff. Again, if I've never had any experience trying to balance out my emotions, how do you expect me to get it right on the first try? Second, third, fourth, fifth, 20th, or 100th? I don't understand it. I just don't, you know? Taking it further, like, if I've never had to, you know what I'm saying? If I've never had to address the demons that go on inside my mind, inside my body, inside my heart, how do you expect me to convey them to you? How do you expect me to convey them in a way that's positive to anybody or conducive to anybody? It's not probable. You know what I'm saying? It takes time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. I just feel like too often we look at the male figures, you know what I'm saying? Of course, like, you look at ancient old, you know, times. It's like they went out, they got the food, they provided. You know, they were men. You know what I'm saying? Or they were brutes. You know what I'm saying? They went out, they did the forceful work, they did the work that the women didn't have to do. You know what I'm saying? They did the heavy lifting, they did, you know, the fighting. They did the things that they seen or that they felt, you know what I'm saying, needed to be done as men. I have no issue with that. I have no issue with the traditional ways of life. I feel and still feel like some of those traditional ways of life should be upheld. You know what I'm saying? They should. You know, men still should be providers. You know, men still should take care of home. I just don't think that defines a man, because a woman should provide. A woman should take care of home as well. So it just gets really tricky for me when we put such an onus on men to be both completely sensitive and devoid of bruteness, while at the same time being an understanding, sensitive, and caring person. We just got into some real trickiness right there. I'm just saying. But to keep it going, man, just to keep it going, because I definitely, like I said, this is a topic that it weighs on me because of the effect that I see it having on young men and women, you know what I'm saying? Older men and women, you know what I'm saying? Teenage men or teenage boys and girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, like, these things have real dire effects. These things have real problems attached to them. And if no one wants to fairly assess the problem, if no one wants to fairly investigate the issue, then I feel like it's my duty. I feel like it's my duty. And, you know, that's why I want to do both men and women, because, again, there's a lot on the woman's side that needs to be talked about. There's a lot, you know what I'm saying, that women go through that needs to be talked about. And these things need to be brought to the forefront. And I truly believe that. I have no issue with bringing these topics to the forefront, as they should be brought to the forefront, because these are things that are going to help us heal as a person, as a group of people, as just a fucking civilization. Excuse my French. Real passionate about this. But seriously, like, sheesh. We need to have these talks. You know what I'm saying? We need to have these understandings. Oh, my freaking phone always do this dumb-ish. But no, we need to have these talks. We need to have these discussions, man, because if not us, who? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to have these conversations for us? Who's going to have these conversations with us? Who's going to have these conversations about us? You know what I'm saying? We need to stop placing blame on each other. We need to stop tearing each other down. We need to start understanding each other a little bit better, man, because what made me, you know what I'm saying, a bad boyfriend for majority of my relationships was the fact that I didn't know how to direct and guide myself through the pain. I didn't know how to direct and guide myself out of the hurt. I didn't know how to feel the hurt. I didn't know how to even manage what I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even know how to comprehend what I was feeling at first. It was just like, it all came up as anger. Like, damn, why am I so fucking angry? Like, why am I always upset? Why does everything upset me? But that's how I've learned to internalize pain and hurt. That's how I've learned to deal with pain and hurt. I turn it into anger, because anger can be used as an energy source. Anger can be used conducively, you know, if used proper. You know what I'm saying? Like, for the most part, yeah. I use football. I use sports. My pain and hurt, I got to take it out on the football field. I could literally run at somebody and lay every ounce of pain that I felt into their body. I could play baseball and swing a bat and literally deject myself of all hurt and anger just by transferring my momentum and anger into the action of swinging. So, like, my situation was different. You know, I use sports to deal with my anger, you know, conducively, or as I would call conducive. That's how I, you know, transfer the energy. But the only problem with that is I never got to the root of the problem. I never began to fix the actual issue. I never began to tackle what was really going on. All I did was put my energy elsewhere. I ran away from that situation and picked up a new situation. See, a lot of what I just said is going to go over a lot of people's head, but how many females out there right now say, oh, that no good, blah blah blah, he left me and went and got another situation, or he with his other girl now, blah blah. Like I said, I ain't know how to deal with my hurt and my anger. So instead of tackling, sticking or what's, wow, people are idiots, G. But instead of tackling the issue, instead of figuring out, my problems, instead of like actually trying to work through what was going on, I just grabbed another situation. I just decided to put my energy somewhere else. And eventually, if enough time was given to that something else, I was able to forget about what it was that I went through or was going through, which for me meant I was cured in a sense. I somehow was better because I ain't feel the pain no more. Because I didn't have to deal with the hurt anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, just things I really want you guys to start thinking about, man. I really want you guys to consider these things when you want to call your man a bitch, when you want to call him soft, when you want to, write him off as somebody with no emotions or somebody who's incapable of loving and not capable of caring. Why might he be that way? What may have led to, him feeling and acting that way? Every action has a reaction and vice versa. Nothing happens for no reason. Nobody is the way they are because they just wanted to be that person. There were many millions of events that took place and happened. There were many millions of events that molded and shaped who they were. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfair to place all the blame on that one person. I'm not saying let them off the hook. No, I'm not saying it. Because at some point, somewhere down the line, they have to look themselves in the mirror and say, look, I ain't going to avoid these issues no more. I'm going to tackle my problems head on. Somewhere down the line, they got to look at themselves and say, hey, I might need to make some changes. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't expect for someone to just want to put up with it every day, all day for the rest of their life. That's not probable. And it's selfish. You know what I'm saying? It's inconsiderate, So for me, it's just a little different how I look at things, you know what I'm saying? Because I know people aren't just inherently evil, man. You know what I'm saying? So getting back to this whole male trauma, man, getting back on to the topic. These are some key things that I feel like need to change in regards to how we look at pain, how we look at hurt, how we look at expressing our emotions and feelings. The first thing being we need to be more understanding, man. We need to be open and understanding to hearing people's feelings. Because I feel like a lot of the times, like, again, if I grow up and all my life, all I hear is someone telling me, shut up, be a man, suck it up, Men don't cry. Stop crying like a little girl. One, I'm not gonna be so open, or even I'm not gonna feel at liberty to share, because I'm gonna automatically feel like if I open up and become vulnerable, I'm gonna get attacked. My character will be assassinated. You know what I'm saying? Who I am as a person will start to be demeaned. So like, I honestly, like, you know what I'm saying, I don't fault, you know, people who deal with stuff on their own and stay in their own bubble and shell. But as I speak on in my other videos, support. The only way you're gonna get through that pain, that hurt, and that confusion is if you use support, man. So we have to become a better support system for all people. We have to become a better support system to our loved ones. We have to become a better support system to our friends. We have to become a better support system to our colleagues. You know what I'm saying? Because you just never know, man. You never know, man. And it's definitely important to understand that the things that we do and the way we treat each other have dire consequences, man. You know what I'm saying? And if a person has been dealing with something for so long, for a period of time, or for a certain period of time, or even, you know, for extended periods of time, like, you have to understand that two things are probably possible. Every time that you create a negative situation, you compound, not add on, not just add on, you compound. As in, you're adding more than just one. You know what I'm saying? You're increasing the stress and the pain and the hurt at an alarming rate. And a lot of times I feel like we don't realize that we're doing this. I feel like, again, because we don't know how to deal with hurt as a whole, as a complete group of people, that we just got a bunch of hurt people doing a bunch of hurt things, causing more hurt. Again, a bunch of hurt people acting out of hurt, hurting others. Sheesh. And so I really think it's important to start having these conversations, to start seeing the importance of these conversations, because, again, no one is going to heal if everybody is hurt, acting out of hurt, and avenging themselves for their hurt. You know what I'm saying? It's just not gonna work. It's a backward society. It's just not gonna work. So again, we need to be understanding, man. We need to be open. You know what I'm saying? We need to become a better support system. Another thing is we need to encourage each other to have these conversations. Like I said, someone might not be inclined to talk about their feelings in front of you because of the reactions of the million of other times in which they've tried. You know what I'm saying? Or because of the attack that they may have received as a result of them trying. You know what I'm saying? And it gets tricky, man. It gets tricky thinking about, like, well, not tricky, but it definitely gets disheartening when you start to realize how many people that you may have compounded that hurt for. Because I know for a fact that I done compounded some hurt for some people. I know for a fact that I done added stress in some people's lives. You know what I'm saying? When I could have been one to edify them, that I could have been one to help them possibly. I could have been one to guide them in a different direction. But instead I guided them further down that path because I wasn't aware of my own hurt. I wasn't aware of the things that I hadn't addressed in myself. So again, there's this thing where we have to be honest. We have to ask ourselves, am I harboring some things from my past? Am I acting a certain way because of what I've been through, because of my experiences that have broken me or brought me down from a place in which I thought I should have stayed? Is my mind and mental completely clear of toxic energy in the form that presents itself in anger? Am I masking my emotions and disguising them as something else? Meaning, am I saying I'm angry, but really I'm just hurt? Am I saying that I hate you when really I love the fuck out of you? I'm confused, or I'm in pain. There's something that I'm just not quite grasping. It does become this thing of, like, what's going on and what do I feel? But I'm gonna get back to this. I got my Uber riders coming, man. I'll get with y'all in a second. I'm back. I'm gonna go and take that one. But so basically, I just, reason for this, man, is to bring awareness to the fact that we are hurt, you know what I'm saying, as a whole, men and women, and a lot of it does stem from the things that we're taught and the things that, we go through early on in life, you know what I'm saying. And a lot of us we don't feel like that our childhood has any bearing on our adult decisions, but in reality, those are pretty much the only things that shape our adult decisions, man. Like, we can all decide to make that change, but again, you have to decide to make that change, and then even before you decide to make the change, you got to see that there's a problem. You got to understand where the problem comes from, because it's 9 times out of 10, if you don't understand or if you don't realize that the problem stems from probably some sort of childhood trauma, you're 9 times out of 10 one of those people blaming others, pointing the finger, being a victim through life, because you haven't addressed what really is beneath the surface, which is everything that you went through as a child, which is all the trauma, all the pain, all the hurt that you suffered as a child. And I'm not saying that, everybody has this or everybody is like this. But again, a great deal of us are, a great deal of us are exactly this, you know what I'm saying, are exactly what I'm describing. And I don't, you know what I'm saying, I don't blame anyone. I don't, think that because you have trauma that you haven't been able to tackle and address that you're a bad person. I don't think that because you've allowed your trauma and pain and hurt to allow you to hurt other people, I don't think that you're a bad person. You're confused and you're hurt. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You're just confused and hurt. Now, that doesn't mean continue to go around hurting people. No. It doesn't mean continue to participate in the toxicity of hurting people and others. No. What it does mean is, it means that you have, you know what I'm saying, you have a choice and an option. You can continue to do what you've been doing and allow yourself to be trapped in this cycle of stuckness, man. 'Cause that's all it is. You're gonna be stuck for a long time if you don't see the harm or error in your ways, You will forever not see how your actions play a part in your pain. You'll never see how what you went through is the exact consequence of who you are now. So I just really urge everybody to be more considerate, to be more mindful, man, to be more human with other humans, because we are all out here suffering. We all are out here, you know what I'm saying, going through pain, and we all are out here going through something. The difference in most cases is most of us do not know how to articulate that pain or that hurt. Taylor? Hey, how are you? How are you? I'm all right. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up there, man. I'll probably do a part 2 to this. Been getting back-to-back Ubers, so it's kind of hard to keep my train of thought going. But again, just to kind of recap, just to summarize everything up, you know, as males, you know, we are really beat to death almost over the head with the notion of being tough, rough, and rugged, not displaying our emotions, and not being perceived or viewed as soft or feminine like. And as a result of that, you know, beating that we take from ages, I mean, as early as 1, I'm sure, you know what I'm saying, all the way through, you know, when we move out our parents' house, like, and even after that, as I, you know, alluded to the fact that on social media, you can go down, you know, any timeline and see a woman bashing a man for either being too soft or, you know, viewed as, you know, feminine. So we go through these things every day on a regular basis, and again, it shapes us, and it only causes more trauma towards us. It only causes more hurt towards the relationship, you know what I'm saying, that is attached to us. And it takes the form of some real ugly things if not handled correctly, appropriately, and with care. You know, if the only solution to, or if the only I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. I really do need to make a right turn, low key. I'm finna definitely do the wrong thing. But yeah, it takes the form of some real ugly things, man. And we have to start understanding that our actions, our emotions, our take, our perception, and our dealing with these situations, with these people, it has, you know, it has impact. It has tremendous impact. It has effects, you know, on a lot of different things. So we have to be mindful of that, you know. And hopefully what we do is we learn to grow from it. You know, we learn to manage through these things a little better, you know. But yeah, just, you know, constantly being told that, constantly being fed that narrative, you know, and constantly having to suppress those feelings, constantly having to put those feelings and those emotions on the back burner. That's tough, man. That's tough. That's tough on anybody, you know, because the brain, it starts to break down when you can't, like, properly communicate. You know what I'm saying? You become defeated in a sense. You know, like it becomes more than just stressful. And again, that compound effect is what really ends up happening. So let's avoid that altogether, guys. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to at least, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to be perfect. This process of changing it is not going to be perfect. But it starts with just understanding and being considerate, being compassionate, and understanding of the fact that this is a 18 plus year battle that you're fighting, most likely. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking to the women right now. You know what I'm saying? This is the 18 plus year old battle that you're fighting. Him being emotionalist, him not understanding how to gauge or even express himself, him not being able to care for you the way you feel deserved. You know what I'm saying? Like him not being able to do all these things is a direct result of that 18-year-old training that he's been put through. So don't expect it to change in a year or two. It's not. It's a lot of trauma that you got to build through, you know what I'm saying? And it's better when you guys are in our corners helping us out, you know, as, you know, vice versa. It's definitely, you know, it works both ways. So I'm speaking towards, you know, women right now because I'm talking about men. And when I do the second part, the part 2 on women, I'm going to say the same thing for women because, again, that support is what helps us. You know what I'm saying? That support is like really the integral part to all of this. So be mindful, y'all. Be mindful, man. Let's try and take care of one another, and let's try to build each other up, man. Because the route in which we going right now, it's only gonna hurt us, man. It's only gonna hurt us, and I don't want to be hurt anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be compounded on anymore. I don't want to hurt anyone anymore. And I don't want to compound on anyone anymore. So let's all just try and be more understanding of where people come from and why they do what they do. 3-2, it's your boy. You know what it is. What's free? I'm out.